My Lords, 1 year ago, Parliament passed the most incredible piece of legislation, all in one day, the biggest infringements to our rights and civil liberties that this country's ever witnessed. And we did that in good heart, with good intent, because of the immediate and urgent health threat that was facing us all. And we were promised that there would be meaningful reviews of the provisions and the government would repeal anything that wasn't absolutely necessary and proportionate. A couple of days later, the government published the real rules, the lockdown regulations, which imposed even tighter restrictions than were ever anticipated in the Coronavirus Act. And because they used the Public Health Act, coincidentally of 1984, that's quite a resonant year, this Parliament didn't do its usual scrutiny. On the one hand, excessive restrictions on things like the right to protest and how far we are allowed to go to exercise has been part of the chaotic mess of legislation, government guidance, and ministerial diktat. And on the other hand, we've seen lockdowns imposed too late, opened up again too fast, and even the doomed Eat Out to Help Out, which reseeded the virus and created the breeding ground for our very own UK variant, which is now running rampant across Europe. I'm very interested to hear the government's response to Liberty and 19 other organisations' document, Protect Everyone Act. That I would like to hear from the Minister about, please, if the Minister could make a note. I should like the Minister to promise for the government to give a line-by-line response to those proposals, which aim to remove the most coercive and arbitrary parts of the Coronavirus Act. The Noble Lord the Minister himself called it an unloved act. It absolutely is. And we should replace the coercive and arbitrary parts of the Coronavirus Act with a public health focused system which supports people to comply with the health guidelines. Most importantly, in my mind, is the repeal of Section 51 and Schedule 21 of the Act, which have resulted in an unprecedented 100% unlawful prosecution rate. The Minister must surely feel embarrassed to have overseen the passage of such a provision and the decision that even as dozens of other provisions are being repealed, this one is still being retained. That promise only necessary and proportionate measures will prevail. The government promise is shot to shreds by the continuation of this disastrous piece of legislation. It is not a piece of law, it's a piece of unlaw. And how this got past the government lawyers, I have no idea. We have our own lawyers here in the House, and I hope that they will speak as well on this. The next issue is the protection of the right to protest. We've all known this was a problem, but it really came to a climax point with the extremely poor policing decisions at the Sarah Everard vigil. And it seems to me that many, many times in the past, the police have made terrible decisions, not because they were incompetent, but because the government did not give them clear instructions. And that's something that going forward, I very much hope the government will do. Having conceded in the High Court that a total ban on the right to protest would have been unlawful for a vigil, the Met continued to impose a total ban on protest, and the images of women being manhandled by male police officers in the already very sad circumstances were absolutely chilling and mark a particularly dark moment in an already horrible year. The government and the police must get to grips with how we can facilitate safe and lawful protest. It should be easy enough to do. We already know that the government is keen to get people back to pub gardens and outdoor dining. But socially distanced protest has always been possible and part of our democratic process. And there's been no excuse for the blanket ban without any attempt to work constructively with organisers of protests. However, coming back to the Act as a whole, I would have been worried about voting the Act down, as it would have been tantamount to throwing the baby out with the bathwater. But as the government's own review shows, they have already drained most of the bathwater from this Act already. So the unlawful, coercive, nasty parts of the Coronavirus Act must be repealed and a public inquiry launched.